May 10th. Come out for fiddleheads today. Some friends. So we got their boat. We got our boat. Dry bags. I'm picking now for maybe 30 minutes or so. So they're not all out yet. So we're just scouring for the ones that are early. And generally when you're looking for fiddleheads, my experience has been you need to find a river at least this big, and then the flat side of the river, both sides of this area are flat, and you check both sides. Sometimes they're growing right in the grass on the bank, and other times they're not. So I will go into the woods, which is further in where we're actually getting them, and I will show you what to look for. Okay, so this is what you're looking for. The ostrich fern grows out of little black, I don't want to call it like a crown. They have this little papery sheath which peels off. It's part of the cleaning process. These ones are quite small, so I probably wouldn't bother picking these ones. But if you keep looking around, you'll find some this big. So you want to, picking one of these is like picking 5 of those, so it's much more sustainable to just pick the big ones. Seem to have noticed a little friend over here. It's a wood turtle. I think it's a wood turtle. It's just hanging out, eating bugs. You'll notice the fiddleheads around him there's some hairy ones with red. So don't mistake and close one of those, the red hairy fronds, for a ostrich fern or the turtle. Come up to here, you'll see here's some that are behind. So you have the old stock from last year, the old ferns are laying down. Other types of ferns that are in the fiddlehead stage tend to not have these black stalks. These ones aren't ready to pick. There's no point in pulling those out. You don't want to kill the plant. Got some more there. Again, they're pretty small. I'm not going to bother picking them. Now down in the lower areas, sometimes those ones are behind, so up on the banks you find the ones that are earlier. But where we're getting close to some thicker woods, this area might be shaded. So there's not going to be as many that are out and about. And these ones are a little bit bigger, not much, and they're almost starting to unfurl. So you could, and even some of the sheets have already started to come off them, but you can see the evidence that they were there. You probably wouldn't pick them after they're unfurled any more than this. The best one's small. That's pretty much all there is to it. Maybe I'll show a couple other types that are inedible. Also wanted to point out that sometimes when you're looking for ostrich ferns, this is where they get their name, is later on in the year they shoot up these ostrich feather looking fronds, which is part of their reproductive system. And so you won't be able to identify them like that this time of year. Like you won't be able to look for the green ones. You can sometimes look for the old ones. So there's one laying down there. They don't always stand up. And then we have fiddleheads galore in this area, but none of them are ready. So next week they'd be good to go. And here is the 3 different types of fiddleheads that we typically find along the riverbank. These white fuzzy ones we find around lakes and along small streams. These ones we usually just find around the riverbanks. They got the red fronds. And these ones we only find along riverbanks, and that is the ostrich fern. And when you pull the sheet off, it's just green, and it has the ridge, whereas neither of the other ones. This one sort of has a ridge up the stem, but not as pronounced as the ostrich fern.